And welcome back to JKLIVE live on the road. We are in New York City. Actually, we are at the United Nations headquarters to be precise. Kenya's bid for a non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council. His campaign has kicked off. The voting is in June 2020. That's why we have the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs and International Relations, Dr. Monica Juma, here in the freezing cold on Professor Wangari Maathai's bench. Thanks to President Kenyatta, actually. Yeah? It's beautiful. Yeah. This is really cool. In the summertime, it must be very nice here.
It's very nice. Not long ago, we celebrated 1 year of KQ into JFK. I remember I was with you on 28th of October. This has been one of the best routes so far, and we are very, very grateful for the KQ connecting the UN main cities, you know. Now, KQ is connecting New York to Nairobi, Nairobi to Geneva. So, you know, we are the carriers, really the official carriers of the United Nations, and we are very pleased about how KQ is performing in this regard.
Were you surprised at the success of this route from here? Because it's one of their most popular routes, avoiding Europe, avoiding the Middle East, and non-stop to Nairobi, 12 hours from New York.
I was not surprised, because we had done the feasibility studies. We knew it was the right route. It's a direct route, and you will recall on 29th of October when we landed, we said this. We said it was going to be a direct route. It was going to be efficient, you know, in terms of time, in terms of cost, in terms of convenience. And that is what travel is about. So we are looking at a number of other companies and code-sharing agreements, but this is a route that is going to remain most profitable and most convenient for customers. So yes, we were not surprised.
Wow, well done. Okay. Look, before the break, I told you the question I was going to ask you, which was basically, look, you have a tough task, and I'm not being critical here or anything, but obviously there are critics who say you are in charge of embassies worldwide. Sometimes you send personnel to places where they're not really suited. And the example I gave was sending people to Paris who don't speak French, or sending people to Havana who don't speak Spanish, whatever it is. Do you get that kind of criticism, or is it unwarranted?
Well, Jeff, if you read history, the trans-Saharan trade was done without any language. You know, so really some of these things are exaggerations. Diplomacy is helped by language, but it is not dependent on language, because there are many things we share. We share values, we share positions, we negotiate positions, and thankfully you are allowed to negotiate in the most convenient language to you. So that's not a really big problem. Nonetheless, we are very aware of the need to build a portfolio of competencies, and language is one of those. Today, we are not recruiting anybody in MFA who doesn't have a second or third foreign language. So things are changing, you know. It will take some time before we get everybody to speak every language. That's not going to happen very soon. It doesn't happen anywhere else. But it is a capability that we are consciously building. So nobody should be worried. Our diplomacy is not affected. We are looking at that very carefully. And the lack of a language does not affect your capability to negotiate the best options for your country. So nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Is it a tough task for you, getting the right personnel, getting those recruiting, building that team? Is it tough?
No, because in Kenya, one of our biggest assets is human resource. It is not tough. We have a lot of Kenyans that can serve our country excellently. And I can tell you, in MFA, I have some of the most bright and able officers, as you have probably seen in the last couple of days. So nothing to worry about. Foreign policy is in the right hands. We continue to improve. You know, as we return to Nairobi in a week's time, I'm going to be sitting with my directors, and we'll be talking precisely about the human competencies and how we can improve those to respond to the growing demand of Kenya's global leadership. So we are moving to a new league, Jeff. So we are in a good place, and Kenyans should be proud of the foreign service that we have.
Okay, what would you tell people who say some of your foreign embassies are understaffed?
Well, again, a very relative observation. You know, I know missions that are staffed by less than 5 people. of other countries, which I do not wish to mention here. It is not the numbers. It is how competencies are deployed and organized around various tasks. And we are able, Jeff, to organize tasks even beyond geographic location. I will tell you this. In this campaign, as we were lifting off in Addis, we were able to bring together a team to support the Addis team. You know, we've been able to bring in teams to support the New York team, you will know. So we organize around tasks, you know, and if we need to surge a team, we do it without difficulty. And by doing that, we select the best person to drive a task. So it is something, it is organizing to the task.
Okay, so how do you explain one of the most important missions, embassies on the planet, Washington, D.C.,
Yes.
has no ambassador, or you have an ambassador commuting between New York and Washington? Does that make sense?
No, we don't have an ambassador commuting, Jeff. We have not had an ambassador present their credentials to the Hill yet. But you will know that our charge in Washington, D.C. is a fully fledged ambassador. So we do not run diplomacy essentially just by having ambassadors. We have a team of competent officers that are running our diplomacy in every city. So I have told people the fact that we do not have an ambassador in an X capital does not mean that our diplomacy is suffering. Far from it. I have a good view of every part of this world. And as I have said, I am organizing to task.
Oh, I thought there was going to be an opening. I was going to volunteer.
Well, listen.
I'm kidding.
No, you can volunteer, there's no problem, except there is no voluntary provisions. Ambassadors,
yes.
Jeff, are the personal envoys of the head of state, you know, and that is where this authority is domiciled. Only the president can nominate, and the process is rather clear. He nominates his preferences for his envoys, and there's a long process of vetting and things like that. But there's no doubt, I have no doubt that you'd make a great representative of the Republic of Kenya.
Listen to you. Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you. Bottom line, come June, are we going to be celebrating June 2020? Are we going to be celebrating?
We hope so, and we are organizing around that. As I have told you, I have a strategy. I have an excellent team behind that strategy, and I believe there is a good vibe. We have launched a campaign. We launched a very successful campaign in Addis Ababa on the 16th of September. Yesterday, we launched a global campaign in New York, as you know, and we are going to go out and get the vote. We are not taking anything for granted because we understand the responsibility that is upon us. So we are not taking anything for granted. We will go out for the vote, and it is my hope, my honest hope, that come June, we will get the mandate from the 193 members of the United Nations, and that yes, we will be ready to serve. We are ready to serve, we are able to serve, and we have the experience to bring value to the United States Security Council.
Yeah. Dr. Monica Juma, congratulations, well done.
Thank you, Jeff.
Great
At least
job.
I've survived the ice.
Can you imagine? No longer icy. By the way, before I let you go, the crew that I travel with,
Yes.
one my producer's name is Monica Kirago.
Yes.
Cameraman's name is Gregory Juma.
Yes.
You combine Monica and Juma,
Yes.
you get?
The real Monica Juma.
Hello.
Well, it simply means you're in good hands, Jeff. That's what it means.
Like a safe pair of hands?
Safe pair of hands, you know. So really,
Yes, yes.
anybody who is serious about supporting Africa is obliged to vote Kenya.
Vote Kenya.
Support Africa, vote Kenya.
You heard that. Dr. Monica Juma says, support Africa, vote Kenya. That's the bottom line. In that building there, 7 months' time, we will know who becomes the third African non-permanent member of the Security Council. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. Jeff Koinange, live on the road in New York City. Remember, keep tweeting at Koinange Jeff. At Citizen TV Kenya, the hashtag is JKLIVE. Good night, good luck, God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.